Hmm, are you worried about where do you start your research proposal, specifically in introduction? Or are you questioning yourself upon how can you create an introduction and can convince your readers to read your research, especially in introduction? Well, this clip is for you to widen your knowledge about how to write a research proposal, particularly in making an introduction. In Have a blessed day, everyone. Welcome back to our channel, where in educational matters fine. Today we'll be discussing about writing a research proposal, the research introduction. But before we proceed to research introduction, a brief description of research proposal. What is research proposal? It is a simply structured, formal document that explains what you plan to investigate or to research, why it is worth researching, and how you plan to investigate it, according to Derek Johnson 2020. In short, it is a blueprint of your research wanted to investigate or a chance to explain the significance of your project you wanted to conduct. Writing a research proposal, research introduction. So may I ask this question to you, class? How you should write research introduction? How should you start to write a research introduction? Mm-hmm. Okay. That's good. Thank you, class. Thank you for your participation. All your opinions and thoughts were good, but we have to deeply understand what is or what are going to do in writing a research introduction. In this lesson, we have three objectives. First, determine the research proposal introduction. Second, recognize the importance of the introductory part of research or in research, and know how to make an outline in introduction of a research paper or a research proposal rather. Research proposal introduction. Treat your introduction as the initial part or initial pitch of an idea or thorough examination of the significance of research problem. This a simply means that it is a preparatory of your research, which it entails what will be your research like. It is the one that it is a blueprint. It is a the beginning of your research. In conducting your research, as you propose a project, as you propose your research that you want to conduct. After reading the introduction, your readers should not only have an understanding of what you want to do, but they should also be able to gain a sense of your passion for the topic and to be excited about the study's possible outcomes. You're not only giving a grasp moment to your readers, but also you give them interest and leaving good hanging or leave a good hanging in their minds on what's your research for or what is your research for. So determine what is research proposal introduction, and now we need to know what should we include in our research introduction. What must thing to include? Present a comprehensive review of research literature of the key terms of your research title. From your research title, you can get research, what we call that one, key terms, and these terms should elaborate through research, insinuation, and literatures. For example, for a paradigm, um, the effects of mobile games in academic participation of the student. The key terms of those example or that example are mobile games, academic participation, and that thing you should explain it in order for a reader to know what does it mean. Second one, establish the gap of your study. When you establish a gap of your study, it indicates that you have to or you should be unique when you state or when you establish a gap of your study. Like a research gap is a question or a problem that has not been answered of any by any existing studies. So in short, it is a problem that is not been answered or that has not been researched though. And if you establish that a gap, it is something like your research be a unique or a creative one. It is like an interesting one that the readers get interested or that the readers catch catch their attention of your research. That's the thing when you establish a gap, a research gap. And when you it is something that you need to establish or you need to build a gap because it develops a complete and sustained um, study and how these findings have positively impact to the society. So that's the thing when you establish a research gap. And for example, a single case of teenage pregnancy in an institution during the pandemic, it is a relevant also, no, like we can clearly say that is a unique one because we have the um, studies have been answered or have been researched before about teenage pregnancies, what their experiences about teenage pregnancies. But during the pandemic, it is something unique. It is something catchy. What were their experiences during those times during the pandemic? So something like that, that you state the gap of the study, that it can create a research gap as what the things have done upon or have happened upon teenagers being pregnant during the time. Research problems. You must to consider this one as a factor that you should include in your research introduction as you state about the research problems related to the topic. Hmm? Related, you should create research problem that is related to your topic or in your title, that it helps you to formulate that sequence, or it is a primarily step in conducting your research. That is something like what your research question, what your research problem it is, what it is the problem of your research. What your problem of your research? That's something like that is the problem. For example, the teenage pregnancy during the pandemic. That's the problem. That's the problem of like continuing. It is a continuous way. It's something like it is happening, still happening. And then state the significance of the study. You should indicate how your study is important and who can benefit with this one. So those are the things that you must to include in your introduction. So now, how introduction really important? Why do we need this one? The introduction serves multiple purposes. It presents the background to your study, introduces your topic and aims, and it gives an overview of the paper. So when we say that, why we really need to create an introduction, because it gives the background of your study. It points out the aims, your goals, your objectives, and it gives the overview of your paper. Research introduction. In presenting your research introduction, consider the format of your institution or style prescribed. So you need to follow that format in order for you to be guided. The style that prescribed in order for you to be guided up and for you not to be confused or what you're going to do. So you need to follow that format. For its purpose, you may start by evaluating the research gap, research objective, and research problems. So it is understandable that we need to evaluate, we need to assess the research gap, the research objective, and the research problems. And identify the key terms in your title, then make a working outline using the key terms. So this time we are going to identify the key terms and then make an outline in order for us to be guided, in order us for to have a good a good introduction. The paradigm, in your book you can scan that one. For the example, dulling the nerves, surfacing language anxiety experiences in an English classroom. So language anxiety is something like a phobia of, or a something that triggers them to use a second language because maybe they feel that they're not capable in speaking that one. They're hesitant. They're hesitant to use the second language in their classroom. The key terms: doubling, language anxiety experiences. The outline. So this outline will serve as a guide in order for us to create an introduction in an organized way and to understand. So that's it. When we should do outline first in order for your introduction be an organized and understandable. First thing, language anxiety. A definition. So you need to define what is a language anxiety. As what I said, that it is a you must to explain what it is. And second one, B, causes of language anxiety, indicate the causes of language anxiety. And C, levels of language anxiety. What's the level of the language anxiety of a particular place or a particular classroom or institution? Second, language anxiety experiences. You need to elaborate or to indicate the effects of language anxiety and then the manifestations of a language anxiety. The third one, establishment of the gap. So the methods used in studies on language anxiety. Previous studies have conducted this research, and for you to know the gap and for you to know and to make your research a unique one, you need to research those methods they used, those research they use, and apply to your research and make a unique one. So that's it. In statement of the gap, define what is totaling, the benefits of the tool, and it's the study conducted using that tool. And then the number 5, the statement of the research objective, statement of research problem, and linking. And the last one, linking of tool to the study. So that's the 8th process, or the 8 steps in outlining the key terms, outlining your introduction. So now let us proceed to the tips for writing research introduction. First, you need to avoid the dictionary introduction. Like most of researchers, like they're going to dictionary introduction. They did a dictionary introduction, like as Miriam Chu 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 Nana. That's it. That is a dictionary introduction. Like you need to create a unique one as you to explain this kind of key terms, as not like it is not a dictionary type. And 2, clearly provide background information. When we writing a research introduction or research proposal introduction, we need to provide as much as solid background information about your topic. And last one, just introduce your topic with insinuations and leave a question to the reader that why it is important. So that's it. That's the tip in writing a research introduction. So that's it. I hope you understand. I hope you have grasps the things that you need to know about writing research introduction, research proposal introduction. Those are things that we must consider to include in our in your research introduction, the outline and the tips. I hope it helps. Those things might help you, really help you. So thanks for attending this class, and then thank you for listening. If you have your questions, just email me, send me your questions there, and I'll be answering your questions right away. So thank you. So this is my resource page, my references. Thank you guys. Have a nice day.